And welcome to another episode of Cubfidential. JB is not here tonight. I'm filling in as QB1. Well, co-QB1s. I got Brian McCray. About to bring him here in just a minute. Let me tell you something, y'all. Who the hell is this team right now? Because just 2 weeks ago, I don't know if we saw this coming. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and we're kind of splitting time here between now and the World Cup, but we got a stacked show, I promise you. And for the time being, follow us on all of our socials. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. Also, our website, sideline-se.com. You know what? Let's go ahead and get Brian McCray in here, my co-host. Hey, Brian, quick question for you, buddy.
Yes.
How do you like 3 straight series wins?
How do you like 9 out of 10 when we almost buried them a couple weeks ago? They looked like they were lifeless. And now they've come out in the last 10 games, the hottest team in baseball, the hottest team in the National League. And they're only, 5.5 back now of the Brewers, and they have the first wild card right now. So I don't know how to figure this team out. They're schizophrenic. And as crazy as things go, and we talked about Dansby a couple weeks ago, he's on a tear like I've never seen. So this is just this has been a weird. This doesn't make any sense how somebody can still be hitting around 200 and have almost 50 RBIs at the All-Star break.
Oh yeah, and we'll be talking about him coming up. He's our This Cup's for You. But just want to bring in our cohorts here. I'm talking about Nick Hotbockins and Jason Chartrand. Welcome back, Jason. Hey, how you two brothers doing?
Good, man. Good to see y'all.
Brian mentioned like this up and down team. Listen to this. I pulled this up. Through May 8th, the Cubs were 27-12, and they were in first, and that ranked first in all of baseball. May 9th through June 10th, they were 7-22, and they ranked dead last in baseball. And now, from June 11th to now, they're 12-4, and they rank first in baseball.
First in baseball.
It's like those records. It's this up and down, and it's like Brian said, you can't get a good read on this team because when they're either super duper hot like they are right now, or they're ice cold, and we can't get a good in between. Like there's no, what is it? What's pH 7? I think is like in between or something. We're not getting anywhere in between. It's either super hot or super cold, and I'll take the super hot moments right now.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
The weird thing about this and the bad thing about what they've been doing is the trade deadline is coming up in about a month. I don't know if this team has done enough for the front office to say we're going to be buyers, because do they feel like this team can make a deep run into the postseason, or they're going to be sellers? So that's something we'll talk about a little bit later as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Let's go ahead and get right to it. So we had our Chicago Cubs at New York Mets series. They invaded Citi Field. They came away with the series sweep despite a canceled game. But how about that doubleheader? The Cubs hang 10 runs in back-to-back games. Jason, what'd you see about the series, man?
Yeah, I mean, so you gotta say Dansby Swanson was the MVP of that series. He knocked in 15 RBIs for that whole series, man. Our pitching staff held up in those 4 games. Unfortunately, Cabrera got hurt in the first game, and we don't know the timetable when he'll be able to return.
No, indeed. And then Nick, what'd you see with this series, man?
Yeah, I mean, the Mets are awful. I mean, the Mets, and we took advantage of it. That's what I saw. The Mets are just absolutely a hammered dog shit. I mean, that's just the best way to say it. Like, they made some mental errors out in the field as well that the Cubs just took a full advantage of. And that was a series win. That was a good series win. That kind of like, that was the team that you had to beat. Like, can we win this series against a bad team? They fired their manager right after this series. So it was just, and we saw us come back and win a couple games in that series as well. It was, the Cabrera thing is just like, you look at the Cubs IL, their pitching, just alone the pitching. It's a whole starting rotation and a closer and some bullpen. It's a whole staff. Like that's it, unfortunately, and kudos to I was, during the cold streak I gave counsel and I was coming down on him, but he's managed these injuries pretty well. with all that being said.
No, indeed. And I'm gonna swing it to my co-host here. You talked about the bats getting going, and then alluding to what Nick was saying, because you also emphasized, Brian, about beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. Did you see a sweep coming in this series?
I didn't see a sweep. I thought they'd win this series because the Mets are god awful,
Right.
and so they took advantage of what's going on there, and that's what good teams do. That's what the Cubs have not been able to do or weren't able to do for the past 3 to 4 weeks when they went almost a month and didn't win a series. They played the A's, they played the Giants, they played the Astros, they played some of these the Rockies, they played some of those lesser teams, and they weren't able to get anything going. Now they're getting things going against everybody, the Mets, and then the Brewers. We didn't think they were going to win the Brewers series, or a lot of us didn't think they would win the Brewers series, and they came out, and I think that lit a fire under them, and they're going on. This role that they're going on right now is something that none of us could have predicted the way they were playing going into that Mets series.
No, absolutely. And you know what? That's a good segue into our next topic here, and that is that now, for the record, all right, all three of us, me, you, Brian, and JB, we had a dud as far as the Cubs Milwaukee series.
I would have said the same thing. I would have said
we didn't have them getting swept. We thought the Brewers would win the series. Yeah.
But you wouldn't have been surprised if they got swept, right? Like they ran out their three best pitchers, like their three best, and we were running out a guy we just acquired, a bullpen game at that. Like we were supposed to get swept. I would have agreed with you guys. Like I would have not saw us winning this series at all. It was that Sunday game. It was a swing game, right? Like if you lose that game, you're 7.5 down. And it's hard to come out, but you win that game, which they did. You're 5.5 back. That's a huge game on Sunday. A game that they, a month ago, you're just like, there's no way we win this game, and then somehow, some way, they're resilient and they find a way to win that game. So that was at that point, one of the bigger games of the season on Sunday. I thought.
It was, absolutely. And I'm swinging on to Jason here. Jason, how do you like Suzuki stepping up with a 2-run 10th inning to get the Cubs the series win on the 28th?
Yeah, man, he's been hot lately. He's been hot. Like even today, man, he was hot again. I was kind of worried about seeing him out of the outfield today. He got a little banged up, but Suzuki is like one of the three players that have been stepping up as offensively. You look at PCA. I mean, I think his OPS is close to like 1,200. Suzuki, Swanson, all those three guys, man, they've been like really good for our offense. I can't wait to see some of our pitchers come back, and hopefully we can put it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Brewers one, this is the one that stuck out because we all had the Cubs losing this series on the road, no less. And as the header says, they stunned the division leaders.
That wasn't a road series, brother. That was a home series, baby. Did you see that? I mean,
I saw a lot of Cubs
over Wrigley North. I mean, we took over Wrigley North. You could tell the crowd.
Yep.
That was 70% Cubs fans there in Milwaukee, and they represented it. And Jason mentioned PCA. The month of June, he might have been the best player in all of baseball. What he was doing in the bats. Brian, you mentioned earlier in the season, like when he was struggling, like he had to adjust. Do you think he's adjusted? Because what we're seeing of him is right now is a super elite level.
Brian?
Well, we're seeing a guy that's made an adjustment, has calmed down a little bit, not trying to do too much, and because of that, he might have taken a step back with his work and things like that, and just let his natural ability take over and not trying to force the issue. The offense, on a whole, guys are starting to pick it up a little bit with Dansby. You got Suzuki. You have Ian Happ swinging the bat a little bit better. So I think that calms guys down. Even Bergman hit a home run the other day, so he's starting to barrel up some balls. So I think everybody's getting to a point where they're starting to feel comfortable at the plate.
Hey, Denzel, can I reiterate something that Nick was saying about PCA?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So I took some numbers down today. So there's only been 3 players in MLB history to have a month of June as good as PCA. And those players are Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. So PCA had a 375 plus batting average, 80 plus total bases, 15 plus walks, 10 plus homers, and 5 plus stolen bases in the month of June. Absolutely phenomenal, man.
He leads
Yeah,
the league in WAR right now. I think his WAR is 5. Like
yeah.
he's elite right now, and unfortunately he's not starting in the All-Star game for some, like not leading the All-Star game. But who gives a crap about that right now? But he'll get there. I mean, like this he's on fire. Brian, do you think moving him up to that leadoff spot is what kind of sparked that as well?
It was just, I think, the right time to, do something. Nico was struggling, so drop him. Bush had been leading off a little bit. Let's try somebody else and see what happens. And what we have right now is we have the top of the order doing something that not a lot of guys in baseball have done. The bottom of the order doing something that Gehrig, Root, those guys, Dansby is doing Hall of Fame things from the 9 hole, and you have PCA doing Hall of Fame things from the 1 hole. That means that things are pretty good throughout the lineup if you have that kind of distribution of guys doing some damage.
Yeah. I mean, the last 24 hours for Dansby Swanson might have been the best, of his whole entire life. I think
I thought the best was in New York, and he topped that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same. We'll get to him in just a minute. I mean, they just wrapped up the series today. Now, if you saw this score right here, you would think that was a football score. You're not seeing things, people. The Cubs hung 23 runs on the Padres today, and Swanson. You know what? We'll just go right into it. Dansby Swanson, in the last 24 hours, okay, so he had 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 2 runs, 9-7 win last night. 3 home runs, including a grand slam today, 8 RBIs. So I'm going to start off with Jason. So, and I know we're kind of covering 2 topics at once right now, but your thoughts on the San Diego series. First of all, did you see the sweep? And second, your thoughts about Dansby Swanson.
You know what? I can never be confident in the Cubs enough to think that they're gonna sweep anybody. But I'm glad that they did. I mean, we're catching up to Milwaukee slowly but surely. I think I saw today Swanson since June 17th, he's got 20 plus RBIs. And like Brian reiterated, it's from like the 8 and 9 hole. So I mean, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And then swinging it on to you, Nick. I mean, your thoughts about the San Diego series and about Dansby Swanson's performance.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Dansby's bouncing back, right? Like, this guy was struggling, and I was like, we got to bench him, a couple weeks ago. It shows you, like, that's the fan in me, right? Like, Brian's like, you got to let him ride. I'm like, Brian, now we got to sit him, and that's the hitter and the fan talking right there, the pro and the guy sitting on the couch. So obviously knows way more than I do. And the series was great, and the comeback win on game 1, that was their 10th walk-off of the season. So like, they figure out that, like, kudos to them. They just never quit, right? Like, they find ways they've been finding ways to win in all these winning, even the losing streak, like some of those wins were by walk-off. They continue to find ways to win. You'd like to, like more games today where you just don't have to worry the ninth. But even last night got a little sketchy. We had a big lead, and the Padres were coming back. Obviously, we're not gonna hang 23 on everybody. But you like the games where you can kind of shut it off in the 5th or 6th inning, and you don't have to worry about the rest of the game or watch the game with kind of one eye open.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dansby Swanson. I mean, like this is almost Dansby from the 21 Brave squad that won it all. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Nick.
He said that he was been talking to the hitting coach John Melee, and they've been doing a lot of extra stuff. I was reading an article about it today, and they like after practice trying to get it right. And it seems obviously they've gotten it right, and he's we need him right now. We need our offense, especially with the injuries to the pitching staff. This offense is going to have to carry us, and hopefully we just went through a bad cold spell during that losing streak, and everybody can kind of obviously not going to say as hot as they are right now, but get back to just who they really are and who we believe they can be.
Right, absolutely. You know what I mean. And then I'll swing it up to you, Brian. Your thoughts about the series overall, and well, you mentioned Swanson's performance. If there's anything else you wanted to add,
They caught some teams at the right time too. The Padres are. I don't know what's wrong with them. That's a talented ball club. They seem like they quit today. The Cubs made them quit, and it seemed like that was a little bit what happened in New York. So they're beating up on teams when they should beat up on them. They caught some teams at the right time when they're starting to get hot, and up until the All Star break going into the All Star break, this is the kind of role you want to get on to feel good about yourself when you have a break for a few days. This team is, it's pretty schizophrenic how the season has gone so far. I don't remember a team that the last 20 years or so that's had the streaks that they've had.
yeah,
I was going to ask you that, Brian. I've never seen that, dude. I don't know if you'd ever been a part or seen a team like this. They're either extremely hot or extremely cold.
And they didn't do it. This is not over a year. This is not over the year. This is just the first half.
They've done things, it's the first half.
They've done things that you don't see. And we're at 86 games or so, and they've done some things that make you shake your head in a good way and a bad way. What's going to happen in the second half?
Yeah. Maybe it's fitting. And mind you, we still have a whole half a season to go, but maybe it is fitting that they're sitting at the wild card spot right now because of the season they've had. It's been up, then it comes back going down, and then now they're like this is like the streakiest team that we've seen here as of late. But keeping the microphone on Brian McCray here and going to Brian McCray's soapbox, and he's going to talk about how hot the Cubs have been as of late and how the next 2 weeks are going to be critical before the trade deadline. Go ahead, man.
Well, we've been talking about playoffs for a long time, and then we got off that. Now the talk is playoffs again, and the Cubs have to figure out if they're all in or just semi-in. Do they think they can make a deep run, or do they just think they can get in the dance? That's what's going to be determined here pretty soon with how they play and how aggressive they're going to be. For me, they need 2 starters with all the starters out and 2 bullpen guys. Do they pull the trigger and acquire the type of guys they need to make a deep run into the playoffs, or do they just stay pat with what they have and build towards the future? I always think that you got to strike the iron when it's hot, and I want them to go for it. But in the back of their minds, they have to be real honest with themselves and say, if we go for it and give up some guys, are we going to go to the World Series, or we have a chance to go to the World Series, or are we just going to get through the first round? So I think that's where the Cubs brass right now is thinking, are we good, or are we just on a hot streak? And what moves do we make at the break? Do we go for it, or do we just kind of let it ride out? We'll see. They'll show us with their actions how they feel about this ball club.
Absolutely. And, I think we've said for the better part of the last maybe 2-3 years that on paper, the Cubs have an NLCS team on paper. And last season, they were a game out of the NLCS. The 5 games in the divisional. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Real quick, I was going to say, beating the Padres, we clinched the series against them, season series, which could factor into the postseason when we get down the line later in August, September. When the seeding, if we make it that far, because if we match up with them, we would be able to play them at home, hopefully.
Yeah, and this puts the Padres in a position because LA is running away with the NL West, So now they're in a position of where, okay, we have to have a miracle happen and win this division, because if it comes down between us and the Cubs are going to edge us out because they got us head-to-head. So this might light a fire under the Padres as well. But our next to last topic, so our next 2 series, I believe this will be immediately before the All-Star break. So so the Cubs have the rival Cardinals at home, and then they're at Baltimore. Now you figure St. Louis in 3rd place. And then you got Baltimore, who's now 8 games under 500. What to expect? Jason, starting with you.
I just hope to expect a little bit more. And I hope the Cubs stay on the hot streak going into those 2 series. I hope we get some of our starting pitching back. I know I heard Jameson Tyone threw off the mound. Hopefully Ben Brown will be back. But yeah, like Brian reiterated was talking about, getting two starters. So, if we don't trade for two starters, we got those two starters coming back. And I just hope we keep on, the season's long. It's going to be like ebb and flows, it's going to be up and downs. So I don't expect this to be like long term. There's going to be some, like they scored 23 today. That's not going to happen every day. They could win 2-1, 3-2, whatever. It's going to be close games. Hopefully our offense can keep us in the games, and our pitching staff could, at least give us like 5-6 good innings.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because you're right. I mean, the Cubs put up like 5 or 6 games worth of runs today, so that's not going to happen every single day. But it is in tune with what we were saying as how the bats needed to get hot and stay hot. Nick, what to expect with the next 2 series? You got the rival Cardinals, and you're at Baltimore, a series you should win, even though it's on the road. But what do you got, man?
Yeah, you should beat both of these teams. The Cardinals is a kind of a must-win series. You want to take 2 out of 3. They're kind of right there. The Cardinals aren't very far behind us, so they're battling for that wild card spot. Baltimore 8 games below 500, obviously not having quite the season they had hoped. So that's a series you want to go in and try to win at least. Maybe a sweep would be great, but 2 out of 3 keep the momentum alive here. Luckily at home, it seems to be the ball's kind of flying out, winds blowing out. So the Cubs have been taking advantage of that here lately, the last few games, and scoring a bunch of runs. So hopefully that kind of keeps going over the weekend here in Chicago against the Deadbirds.
Hey, awesome. And then Brian, your thoughts? What to expect with the next 2 series? You got the rival Cardinals, and you got a team that you should beat at Baltimore. So what do you got?
Well, I think the weekend series is going to be huge. 4th of July, 250th birthday of the United States. So a lot of hoopla. You're playing the Cardinals, so the energy level is going to be off the roof, or it should be, for that series. And you have a chance to kick the Cardinals while they're down a bit, and maybe put them back in their place to where they're probably a year or 2 away from contending. Going into Baltimore, that team had some higher expectations, and they're not playing well right now. So it's the perfect kind of mix of what you need going into the All-Star break to get yourself right and to continue this streak that they're on, and hopefully they can ride it out. But I see them winning both series and kicking around the Cardinals a little bit, and then going to Baltimore and having a good time against the Baltimore Orioles, because it looks like the Orioles are kind of flat. They're playing right now like the Padres and the Mets.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so we'll go ahead and we'll end the show with our Cub or Dud. I need one of you to at least say Cub, okay? Can the Cubs tie the Brewers by the All-Star break? Cub or Dud? Jason?
Oh man, I'm gonna say dud, man. Unfortunately.
Okay. All right, Nick. What about you, man? Cub or Dud?
Yeah, 5 games back. It's not happening. The Brewers are still good, but they're not going to catch them the rest of the year. I still stand by that. We're not going to win the division. I don't think. I still stand by that. So you can ask me this question 10 more times throughout the season. This is your favorite question, and I'm going to say dud every time.
Okay, if the Cubs win a division, I want an apology.
You will get an apology from all of us.
To the Cubs fans, to everybody, I want an apology from Nick Botkins if the Cubs win the division.
I'll be the first one. It won't be the first time I'm wrong. It won't be the last time I'm wrong either, brother. So I'll be the first one to apologize.
I will solo screen you. You can write an R&B song. I don't care how you do it. I want an apology. Okay, Brian, I know you're rocking with us, baby. Come on. Cover Dud.
Dud. But let me preface this. Before the All-Star break, the Cubs will be within 2.5 games of the Brewers at some point before the All-Star break. They will gain 3 games.
Okay. I can rock.
I'll take that.
I'd take that, but I would still say dud on it.
All right, Justin Timberlake.
They can keep going and do that. Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Well, Hey, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hold on, free promo time, because Boggins, you got a show coming up, buddy.
Yeah, in about 30 minutes times, you can catch me right here on the Bodkin Show channel for Head Kicks and Haymakers. We're going to be talking about all the results of the last 2 cards. So please check us out. Be a friend, tell a friend. We'll see you then.
All right, and also check out his new show, the Shadow Realm MMA show, here on the Sideline Sports and Entertainment Network. Jason, Bockins, Brian, of course, everybody, thanks for coming in. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Follow us on all of our socials. We will see you all next week for more Cubs Talk. Later.